Hello, this is Soundout here, and welcome back to another Gundam Universe review. Today we're taking a look at the RX-0 Unicorn Gundam, which is GU-03 of the Gundam Universe lineup. Now, for those that don't know, the Gundam Universe is a brand new action figure line from Tamashii Nations by Bandai, specifically marketed towards the Western market as opposed to Japan. Now, why is that? Well, for one, the figures are larger. They're now 6-inch scale as opposed to Robot Spirits' roughly 5-inch scale. They are at a lower price point, this being $24.99 instead of the $50 to $60 that Robot Spirits get to nowadays, and they are meant to be hefty, sturdy action figures in the same vein as Mobile Suit in Action, but at a much larger scale for a new, modern adult collector market. I definitely loved the RX-78-2, which I reviewed recently, which I'll put a link in the end of this video at the end card, as well as a link in the description, so you can check that out for more background on the series itself. We're going to be mostly focusing on what makes the unicorn a unicorn. Now this release is of course a GU-03, the RX-78 was GU-01. I do not have the Wing Gundam at this time. I hopefully will have it soon. My GameStop did not get the Wing, they got the Unicorn and the RX-78. So as you can see, nice character art once again. I keep saying character art are Gundam's characters. It's all in your opinion. For me, they are. But very nice artwork. I love the radiating Psycho frame part of that. I do like how the box is now red instead of blue, so it's not too... So that way each mobile has its own unique color. Of course, the unicorn logo in the upper left-hand corner. I've always thought the unicorn logo was weird, because a lot of the other Gundam shows get English logos, but Unicorn always got the Japanese logo with the English text below. On the bottom, same art. Side, Unicorn. Other side, figure we're reviewing shortly. And then on the back, you have the same bio of the Gundam Universe. I'm just going to put that up there for those that want to pause and read it, if you didn't hear me read it in the last video. Very nice shots of the Unicorn itself. GU-03, Mobile Suit Gundam UC, RX-0, Unicorn Gundam. From the video series, Mobile Suit Gundam UC, Unicorn, 2010-2014, the RX-0 represents the evolution of Gundam technology in the Universal Century timeline. When fully utilized by its pilot, Banagher Lynx, the Psycho frame built into the mobile suit glows bright red, and the Gundam itself transforms into the fearsome Destroy mode. Also available, Gundam and Wing Gundam, Gundam Info, price $26.99 at GameStop, and Bluefin. I do like how it mentions video series. It's kind of different than OVA, but OVA is original video animation. It was kind of a theatrical OVA, I guess. Anyways, not getting into the complexities of how Unicorn was released, but from the 7-part series, I like how it does mention specifically Unicorn and not trying to like shove in that the TV version was the original or something like that. Now the Unicorn itself, this was the figure I was most excited for from Wave 1, because I love the Unicorn, and everyone should know that from my real grade Unicorn collection, but love the Unicorn. And so to get it in Destroy mode in an articulated action figure form is really awesome, because we didn't have a chance to get this in MSIA, at least not in America. I know over in Japan they might have had some kind of figure, and I never picked up any of the Robot Spirits, again, due to price. I love Gunpla, I really do, but if I'm going to get a Gundam action figure, I kind of like that $25 range as opposed to that $60 range. But this is a very nice looking figure. Overall, I think that while, Unicorn is most known for Destroy mode, I do love the Unicorn mode. I don't feel like it's missing here. I feel like, Destroy mode is kind of the better mode to market with, because it looks like a more traditional Gundam. I love how long the V-fins are. They are made of that same material that the V-fins are on the RX-78, which I think they're not going to break from normal play, but I would not say throw this against the wall kind of thing, even though the rest of the figure would survive that. Very nice. I like the Psycho frame being just stark red. It glows really nice because they kind of give it a pearlescent finish, which doesn't coming across in the camera as well, but it does have like a nice reflectiveness to it. But the exposed Psycho frame looks really good, and I like the way the feet are designed here. Having the real grade Unicorn, which we'll take a look at in a second, this is really nice to be able to just kind of hold this figure without like these collapsing in or those collapsing in, so you get kind of like that great like Unicorn feel. Again, backpack looks fantastic. Of course, we got to do a comparison, that being to the real grade Unicorn. You can see that these are actually the same size. This is what I found interesting. So with the RX-78, if you watch the video, you know that the high grade was actually like much smaller. But the Gundam Universe Unicorn is the same size as the real grade. And I know that the real grade is scaled to 1 to 144 scale, so it does scale with high grades. So I think that this unicorn was produced more to be 6 inches, not so much 6-inch scale, because if you bring in the RX-78-2, and we'll keep all 3 on screen, you see he's the same size. He's taller than the RX-78 by a little bit, but not by much. So I think these are all going to be kind of the same size, regardless of scaling. So that should mean the wing isn't like tiny, but I'd have to get that in the comparison. So the Gundam Universe may not be the line for scale. It's more so for your, robust action figures, which the unicorn certainly is. So that's definitely interesting. I think this is the one time that I was able to notice this. So we'll see what happens with future releases. And then of course here is a Marvel Legends comparison for those that missed it in the last video. This being a taller Marvel Legends and a larger body, that being Magneto. So he looks a little bit bigger, but 6-inch scale. Marvel Legends seems to be the standard for that in North America, so that's what we're working with. Now let's take a look at the articulation of the unicorn. If you remember from my RX-78 video, RX-78 was very articulate. Unicorn is a bit more restricted. So the head, it has all the joints that the RX-78 head does, except due to design, it kind of bumps into things, which is a little frustrating. The shoulders move out, they rotate around. They are on a ball joint, and I feel like this ball joint is much more free than the RX's. Because the RX's just, it would get kind of hooked up on the shoulder pad. This one works better. The bicep swivel, which is very squeaky for some reason. He's got a double jointed elbow. If you position it just right, like that, you can get a full 90. So that's better than the RX, which is nice. Ball jointed wrists, which the ball jointed wrists help to even out the arm there, because it's always had these weird inward arms, but it's out like that, which looks cool. You've got torso, which does not move. It's got joints here and there, and it's got left and right, and it's got up and down, but it doesn't really do a whole lot. This is more your thing. It's the left and right's not so good. The hips, the forward, and the back. The back actually has enough clearance. This back skirt piece is actually removed in the box, so this does come off if it does move too far back. So that kind of gives you a little bit of wiggle room with the leg. But, thigh swivel, which really stuck on that for some reason. And then the double joint knee, which again, better than the RX-78. The ankles move forward, back, and left and right. So they have pretty much the same articulation. I think they have the same joints, like the joints are the same. It's just a matter of, okay, is there enough clearance for the armor? Which I think is pretty much the biggest hindrance for the unicorn, as opposed to the RX, is that the armor's a lot bulkier. Oh, the shoulder pad popped off. That has not happened before, but you can see it's just a ball joint, so it pops back on pretty good. Yeah, everything still, again, feels really sturdy and nice. The hands themselves are the same as the RX-78, which I think is probably how this line can keep its cost down. So I was wondering, like, oh wow, every mold's kind of unique. But they use, I think, an internal joint system that's the same, and then their hands are the same. Because those are the same exact hands from the RX-78. Same with the fists, as well as the beam saber beams themselves, being that painted pink. Now, of course, the unicorn, and this is what surprised me, the unicorn itself in the series has 4 beam sabers. First up, the 2 that are packed separately in the box, which have the little antenna pieces, so they are specifically for the backpack. You can plug these on here, so we got that. They just plug onto the same pegs. These are also ball jointed. I forgot to mention that in the articulation segment. But the cool part here, this is what surprised me, is that, okay, so you got these, which are just like, oh, they move around. The actual beam sabers and the arms come out. I was not expecting this. They don't flip forward like it does on the real grade, so you can plug the beam in for like the beam thing. But the fact the handles are actual separate pieces on both sides is super duper cool, because now you got 4 beam saber handles, and I feel like I'd rather use one of these as opposed to the ones in the backpack, because the ones in the backpack have the little things on them for the antenna look. So you get a lot, I think, a little bit easier of a beam saber with this, which looks cool. Now this beam's actually bent. It was bent in the box, which was kind of a shame, but I could always swap it out from one of the ones that came with the RX-78. That's the nice part about the universal beam saber system. So you can get, double beam saber, unicorn, action, which is pretty awesome. I do really like that. And I do like these beam sabers. You can just kind of push them in and turn them, like the shield connection for the RX. I know I'm saying a lot of stuff that's just referencing the previous video, and it's because there's a lot of similarities. And again, twist and pop. to pop. I don't really like, I don't know, sometimes I use beam sabers, like my real grade has a beam saber for the unicorn. Sometimes I don't, it depends. I like the options. There is this little peg here, which I don't think, wait, no, that is for the shield. Speaking of the shield, that's the shield clip, and much like the RX-78, nice little peg. Also, really nice paint, again, really great detail. So you just plug this on, and then this is also ball jointed all over the place, so if you wanted it back here, whatever. There is nothing that can store in the back. The real grade has the option to store the beam rifle here, but this does not. And again, beam rifle goes in like this and twists, and you got that going on. Now, because he has an exposed hand, I think I am going to put a beam saber in, even though I just kind of contradicted myself. Let's get him as armored as possible. Twist that on, and we'll push that on, and we'll push that in. And to top this all off, the last accessory, of course, is the stand clip. I find just pop the skirt armor, plug the clip on, make sure it's secure, put the skirt cover back on, and let me get him in a cool pose, because that'll save us a little bit of time and get him up on this Tamashi stage, which it doesn't come with, but, you know, still works with. So there we go. That's the RX-0 Unicorn Gundam. I really like it. I don't like it as much as the RX-78, which was kind of a surprise. I honestly thought, you know, oh, I love the unicorn more, I'm going to like the figure more. And while it was my most anticipated of the wave, he ended up not being my favorite of the two so far. Again, and I never know, the wing might just knock both of them out of the park here, but he does look very nice. This is a very nice figure, the unicorn, that I think is just restricted by the nature of the armor. For example, I wish that knee would, you know, the knee bends more, but because of the longer legs, you don't get as much dynamicism from it. But he does look good up on a stand, and you do get a lot of range of movement, especially, I love the wrists. The wrists give you a lot of options, so you can kind of have, I kind of like that better than what I had before. But there you go. That is the Gundam Universe GU-03 RX-0 Unicorn Gundam. Definitely recommended if you're looking for something that's going to be a nice posable kit, or figure, not kit, sorry, Gunpla brain. This is definitely something you want to check out. I still highly recommend the real grade unicorn. This is still one of the most amazing Gunpla ever. But I do, you know, have to be careful with this because it is a model kit, and model kits do have a tendency to break if you push them too hard, too fast. They are not action figures, they are models. They're articulated models, but they are still models. These are action figures. I feel like I can play and mess around with this guy forever, and as long as I'm careful with the V-fins, nothing's really going to break on him, which is fantastic. Maybe the beam saber connections. Those are the only things I'm worried about. Beam saber connections and the actual V-fin. I kind of want them to go to a thicker peg beam saber for later waves, but you know, I can understand them wanting to keep things similar. So overall, very great figure. Highly recommended. Check him out if you want him. I think Gundam Universe is going to be the line. Either you're going to go all in for all these iconic mobile suits, or just pick your favorites. For me, all 9 of them that they've shown so far are probably ones I want to get. So, you know, they are going to be more of the iconic characters, more of the main characters, mobile suits, as opposed to like secondary characters mobile suits. I'm not sure if we're going to see any non-Gundams in the line yet. It's called Gundam Universe. I think, you know, if they throw a Shar Zaku out, I wouldn't be too surprised, but if they just throw out like a Kshatriya in a deluxe set, that would be a little shocking, but we'll see what happens. Of course, the Banshee's coming out in Wave 2, so we'll see how that turns out. This is a great mold. I think the Banshee's more melee weapons will work better with it. And then, yeah, we'll see what happens beyond that. So I hope you enjoyed this review of the Gundam Universe Unicorn Gundam. Be sure to leave a like if you did, and leave a comment below telling me if you think they're going to make a Gundam Universe Unicorn 03 Phoenix or a real grade Phoenix. Which do you think is going to come first? Personally, because of how much the real grade Phoenix keeps not happening, I'm going to place bets on the Gundam Universe one happening first. But you let me know what you think down below. Also be sure to subscribe to keep up with future videos, especially when I get that Wing Gundam, because I'm definitely doing a video on it. And also check out Hero Club at hero-club.com for all your Gundam news and more. Check out Ryan DarkClaw643 on Twitter at DarkClaw643. He is the title card artist for this channel. He does art commissions as well, so check him out. And you can check out social media to contact me if you want at the end of the video. So next time, this is Soundout saying goodbye.